Y'all, it is mind-blowing how many grant opportunities are listed in this one place. Welcome, beautiful people. Shibivia here, and I am back with another gem dropping video. Listen, if you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscription button and the notification bell as well. That way, whenever I post a new video, you will be the first to know. And once we're done with this video, you're going to realize that you definitely should be subscribed to my channel, okay? Without any further ado, in today's episode, I want to share with you some strategies to help you improve your odds of being approved for grants, and also where you can go to find like hundreds and hundreds of grants that may be available to you. So keep watching. Okay, so now we are on over to grants.gov, and let me tell you, there are so many grants, as you can see from the get-go, available, right, to business owners. Now, we haven't even filtered anything yet, but as you can see on the left side, there is over 2,300 grants already posted. Some have been closed and some have been archived. But when you go on this page, you want to make sure that you're looking at only the posted or forecasted grants as well, right? But before we even apply for grants, right? This is just one option of looking for grant opportunities. There are tons of other options out here, but I wanted to introduce you to this particular platform. Before you even apply for anything, first I want you to go over to sam.gov. Now you may be wondering, what is sam.gov? Now, a lot of grants, especially federal grants, they will require you to have a SAM number. This is a unique number that you can also use to get an ID to get started doing business with federal governments. Now, a lot of you may be wondering, how do you get federal contracts? Well, one of the ways to get a federal contract is to get a SAM number. Additionally, when you go to apply for federal grants, most grants, they'll require you to have a SAM number, and they use this number to basically track grants. Okay, federal government, they use this number to track grants. Now, this number also validates your organization's legal business name and address. And again, it's just a way for them to track grant applications. So you will need this number if you plan on applying for a grant. Okay, so now we are back to the grant.gov site where you can find grants and apply for grants, okay? You can learn about grant eligibilities here. You can go over grant policies and all of that. You can search for grants. It also goes over how to apply for grants, how to track your application and all of that, right? Now, as you can see here, like I said earlier, there are literally thousands of grants available. And if you want to narrow it down to somewhat your industry, you can just type in basically some keywords and then search for grants available. And as you can see, I typed in food and then it narrowed it down to about 412 posted grant opportunities available. Okay, so this is definitely one of the first places you want to go if you're looking for grants. Again, there are so many different opportunities out there and, different grants available, other private grants as well that may be available, but this is also a good place to start. Now, I want to share with you some do's and don'ts for applying for grants and how you can set yourself up for success. So let's start with the do's, okay? First and foremost, you want to make a schedule. So a lot of grants are only open to applicants once per year or at a particular period of the year, okay? Most grants have a deadline for when you need to submit your application. So if you come across a grant opportunity, I say definitely put it on your calendar so that you are reminded of the deadline and you are applying before it's too late, okay? Because one of the things that you don't want to do is apply for a grant last minute because they may have some additional requirements, which we will get into below. You also want to write a solid plan first. Okay, most grants will ask for a solid plan. Most importantly, you should know exactly how the grant money will help your business or, help the community. Now, if you have never written a business plan or anything like that, you can check out my very in-depth business plan template below. It's very in-depth, and you also have two different versions of the business plan. You can just choose the one that works better for you, but it also comes with like agreements, contracts, and stuff like that. Okay, so it's not your average business plan. So feel free to check that out as well. And by the way, if you think that I'm going too fast, or you're the type of person who, likes to go over things and you would love a copy of this guide, I will have this do's and don'ts guide for you for free in the description below. All you need to do is provide your email so we know where to send this guide to. Okay, so you'll find that in my description below. You want to get help from community business organizations if possible, because they can help you find grants in your area and also help you better position your business for grant opportunities. The next thing is you want to see what companies have been funded in the past. So let's say you come across a grant that may work well for you, see what companies they have funded, because this will help you determine which grants you have a better chance of winning. And if they have funded other businesses similar to yours, that means that your business also has a chance of approval. You also want to consider professional help. So if you come across a grant that requires, let's say, a well-written cover letter or essay, because I know a lot of grants do require that, like some type of essay or a cover letter, kind of like, pitching your business, pitching yourself, consider hiring a professional grant writer if you can afford it, all right? I know for Upwork, I mention this all the time, Upwork and Fiverr, you can find, you may be able to find a solid grant writer on there, maybe even on Instagram, maybe on Facebook, or, at a community center, maybe somebody can help you write a solid grant proposal or grant cover letter. Now that we have covered the do's, let's go over the don'ts. First things first, you don't want to wait until the last minute. All right. A lot of grants require that you become a member or something, or, get a certification, etc. So in order for you to meet the deadline, you may need enough time to get all your ducks in order, all your documents and stuff like that, okay? It may take you a few days, maybe a couple of weeks. So as soon as you learn about a grant opportunity, put it on your calendar and start getting all the necessary documents available. Typically, a grant website will have all the eligibility requirements. Once you have all of those eligibility requirements and deem yourself eligible for the grant, then you should start putting the required documentation together. Okay, so you do not need to apply for every single grant, okay? Because there are several grants that your business just may not be eligible for whatever reason. And so it's better to spend your time to apply for grants that you're more likely to be eligible for, okay? You don't want to spread yourself too thin, and you don't want to have a lower quality application and, waste your time on those grants that you may not be eligible for, okay? That's why it's so important to first look at the eligibility requirements as well. Now, you don't want to use templates for all grant applications because different grant applications have different requirements and all of that. So each application should be tailored to each specific grant. Otherwise, you'll include a lot of irrelevant information. Now, let's talk about how to get more grants. Now, you want to always look for grant opportunities. Always look for new grant options. You want to set up a Google alert or something, because sometimes a grant opportunity may come up but it's not yet open. So you want to, put it on your calendar, but set up a Google alert to know as soon as that application becomes open. Also, note that different grants have different award values. So make sure that the time and effort that you put into applying for a grant is worth the award. So for example, let's say a $500 grant. Now, I believe that you want to put your best foot forward with everything that you do, and any opportunity comes your way, especially for a grant that you may be eligible for, right? You should definitely try and applying for that. But let's say there is a $500 grant, right? But it's requiring you to get all these licensing and you have to pay hundreds of dollars for something. Doing that may not be worthwhile to apply for a $500 grant. Now, you also want to read over the specific individual application instructions for each grant, because again, some may have similarities, but some are not the same. Okay, so not because this grant over here for a specific industry, let's say, has these sets of requirements, it doesn't mean that this grant over here is going to have the same requirements. So you want to make sure that you are reading over the specific instructions for each grant. So you want to make sure that you're double checking again that you are eligible before spending a lot of time on the application. I think we kind of mentioned that before earlier. I highlighted this, you guys, because I somewhat can be a stickler for like proofreading and stuff like that. And I know that, companies out there, they look out for things like that. As trivial as it may seem, or as small as it may seem, having a lot of grammatical errors may be a turnoff, right? So you want to make sure that you're double checking your spelling and your grammar. And listen, get someone else to proofread for you. Okay. Sometimes we may miss things. I'm sure every now and then I may miss something, but when you have another set of eyes, it makes things so much better, right? Especially if you get a professional proofreader. I'll mention this again, that, you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars for somebody to help you with something. You can literally, like I said, go on Upwork maybe and hire somebody for a couple of hours to proofread a document for you. It may only take them an hour, maybe 25, 30 bucks. It all depends. You can probably even get it cheaper than that on Fiverr. So definitely get someone to proofread your work. Also, you want to submit your application early. You will look more prepared than others, okay, who apply late. Again, they may have other requirements that may require you to apply for something or, get certain documents in order. So you want to give yourself time for that. You don't want to be rushing and being all over the place. You want to make sure that you have everything in order. Also, try to provide specific numbers on how the grant will be used and how it will better help your business or the community. You also want to use credible citations or backup claims. And be realistic when mentioning your business's operational cost, revenue, and all of that. Again, you can have a business strategist. I know for me and my funding program, we help our clients with this because we have a team of financial modelers, business strategists, grant writers, and all of that. And so they use credible information. They use research to make sure that the business plan is well put together. You also want to do your own research on grant writing tips as well. So there you have it, beautiful people. I just shared with you a central place that you can go to find hundreds and hundreds of grants that you may be eligible for. I also went over the SAM's number that you will need if you are planning to do any federal contracts or if you're planning to apply for grants. A lot of grants will require you to have this SAM number. So you want to just go ahead and just apply early if you plan on applying for grants in the future. We also went over some do's and don'ts for applying for grants and also how you can get more grants. Again, if you want a copy of what we went over today, you can find that free guide in the description below. If you guys have any additional questions about grants, business funding, feel free to leave me a comment below. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, be sure to hit that subscription button and the notification bell as well. That way, whenever I post a new video, you'll be the first to know. Again, it's your girl Shibivia. It was an absolute pleasure. Let's continue to grow those businesses and get financially healthy together. And I'll see you guys later. Be blessed. Bye.